Welcome to our daily reflection for this Tuesday, January 9th. And today we begin, for the first reading, a series of readings that we're going to walk through for some time now of 1 Samuel, which tells the story of Samuel, who will be the first major prophet during this in 1 Samuel, who is going to anoint a future king. And of course, the first king we'll find out will be Saul. The second king, and the one who will really have a dynasty that will be lasting, is David. So we're going to start today in that first reading with Hannah. And she's barren. She has no child. And she's praying in the temple in just agony. And the priest, Eli, takes her in her sorrow and distress. He thinks that she's drunk. And then he says, as high priest, may the Lord hear your prayer. And, he kind of almost accidentally intercedes for her. And of course, her prayer will be answered, which is actually a play on the name Samuel. Samuel could be translated in Hebrew as the Lord hears. And so the Lord hears the cry of Hannah in her distress. And he's going to give her a son who will be a great prophet. And the gospel reading, and even the psalm flows from that, because the psalm is actually her hymn, her song of praise and thanks that she sings and when she's able to have a child. And so that'll be the psalm for the day, will be from the Song of Hannah, which has echoes and anticipates Mary's Magnificat, and you'll hear echoes of that in Mary's Magnificat. And then the gospel is Jesus beginning, because we're in the beginning of the ordinary time now, after Christmas. Jesus beginning his public ministry, and the first problem Jesus encounters, and I love how Mark sets this up, because Mark is showing us who the true enemy is. Who is the real problem? Is it the Pharisees? Is it the Sadducees? Is it the priestly class? Is it the people's corruption? Is it the Romans? Who does Mark present as the heart of the problem? Well, I'll give you a clue. It's the same problem we have today. And what is that problem? What is that enemy? The enemy is the devil and the demons. And so Jesus comes into a synagogue, which is a gathering of the church then, and he encounters a man with an unclean spirit. In other words, a demon-possessed man. Now notice, where does Jesus encounter this unclean spirit, this demon? In the church. We shouldn't be surprised if we encounter the demonic works in the church, because that's exactly where the demons want to cause harm and chaos and confusion. And of course, Jesus encounters him, and the man cries out, "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." Now that sounds like a submission, but it's not. It sounds like a confession, but it's not. It's actually, if you understand exorcisms, it's the demon saying, "I know who you are, Jesus," and using Jesus' name, the Holy One of God, and Jesus of Nazareth, as a way of doing an exorcism on Jesus. And then Jesus rebukes him and says, "Be silent," right? Shut up. And then he says, "Come out of him." And the demon doesn't obey Jesus. The demon convulses the man. And then only with a loud cry does the demon leave. So the demon tries not to obey Jesus. And so we see that. And then, of course, all the crowd is amazed, and they say, "What is this? A new teaching and new authority." And we see in Hannah's song, she sings about the authority of God. And now we begin to see in the story of Jesus of Nazareth a new authority at work, an authority that even the demons are forced to obey. And of course, that authority we'll find out is actually God. It's the Son of God, Jesus. So that will be very, very significant as we reflect on and begin to walk now in the story of Jesus and the story of the ancient kingdom of Israel, as it starts with the prophet Samuel leading to the kings. So today, let's reflect on the authority of Jesus, the authority of God. And do we take that authority seriously, and how we want to be obedient to Christ, unlike the demons who know him but disobey him. May we know him and obey and love him. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.